Hey guys, Yaaarrrrrgh here, and yeah, you guessed it. Rum and Bones project is done. I thought I would do a kind of a review. I've gotten a number of games in, and I thought, you know, a lot of times I get a question like, you know, do you really like such and such game? What do you think of such and such game? And so I thought we'd not only update you on the painting project, but kind of give you an overview of what I think of the game. Before we do that, yep, the heroes are done. I spent more time probably on Wellsport than the Blood or the Bone Devils, just because of time. So I am gonna probably go over the Bone Devils. Anyways, we got Stump Pete here, Captain Daniel Pale. That's really dark today. I don't know what that's about. You've already seen Blackout Bart, Mad Ivan, okay, and Miss Mags. Okay. And let's see, on this side we've got the Spectre. One of my favorite models on the Bone Devil side is Little Tom. Awesome model. Patchwork Porter, one of the most confusing models. Ghost Eye Gunter. It's awesome. You can see I tried to work the purple in, tie in their side there, and of course the Captain Albrecht the Dam. Okay, so everything's complete. I don't have all the models out for this. This is just going to be a quick kind of show you basically a turn, how it goes, and then I'll do the review. Try to do this all in one take. Well, we'll see. We will see how that goes. Okay, so this is basically, let me explain the board here. So this is the beginning setup. Now on the board there are these objective markers, this being the armory. It has hit points, and the goal of the game is to basically wreck the other guy's ships. Wreck his ship. Sure. And you do that by destroying these objectives. Each objective is worth a certain amount of points. So if I destroyed that, I would get 2 points, and plus I would gain, all friendly heroes gain +2 health. Okay? First person to 6 wins the game, so it's pretty simple. And you start by putting minions on the 3 central objectives, which is like the wheel, the sail, the main sail, and the rigging. So, alright. So then, after you do that, well, let's see who. Can't this actually tell you how to determine who goes first? So I'm going to assume it's a roll-off. So, we'll say this is for the Bone Devils, they get a 4. And for our buddies at Wellsport, of course, because it's live, yeah, let's go Bone Devils again with a 5, and Wellsport gets a 4. So we're gonna do the Bone Devils basically. So after everything's set up, the first thing you're going to do is prepare the heroes. So this is where you would, for example, if there was a knocked out hero, let's say he was knocked out from a previous turn, he would have one of these David Jones coins on this thing, and you would flip it over. Okay? Or if a guy was, let's say he was trying to do a rig check. Rigging is something that the heroes can do. Basically, in every pirate movie, they grab onto ropes and they swing onto the other side. In this game, there's a chance you can fall into the water. And if that happens, you would get the other side of the Davy Jones coin put on your character, right? So that would then clear, okay? Everybody gets a gold coin. 1 gold coin. What's cool about the gold coins is that they are used for performing abilities. Okay. For example, we'll take the Spectre here. Let's hope my cat doesn't jump on the table and ruin my setup here. So he has a 0 gold move. Hold on. Cat is about to ruin everything. Let's hope he be cool. Be cool, cat. Anyways, so Abysmal Saber is a 0 gold move, so that means he can perform that action for free. If you look on the abilities, it's really easy. If you've ever played Zombicide, similar system, right? The first value is the number of dice you roll. The second symbol is, you know, what you need to hit, and that little compass thing you see there is the range. In this case, it is 1 zone. You can attack 1 zone away. Okay, but you see, if you wanted to do Death's Calling, which it would cost them 4 gold, and then you would just do the select 1 enemy hero within 2 zones and roll a die. On a 6-up, KO that hero, gain +1 to this roll for every 2 damage on that hero. So that's a really, really strong ability for that guy. Anyways, that's basically the hero, how they work. So you prep them. The next step is you're going to fire the deck gun, which is that over there. The way the deck gun works is pretty simple. It rolls 4 dice, hits on a 4+. You pick an enemy zone. In this game, you attack zones, okay? Don't think of attacking people or heroes or whatever. It's zones, and then there's an order of how things take wounds. We'll go over that a little bit. Since these are only deckhands, they're all just going to take it. And let's say I targeted that zone there, they would have lost 1 guy. Okay, simple enough. The thing about the cannon is it can't target an objective, so you can't just point it at an objective and do damage. It has to take out people, basically. Okay, so after you fire the deck hands, you're going to spawn troops. So if you look on the board, there are 3 spawn points. You're going to put 2 deck hands on each zone, and then you get 2 bosons, the bigger guys, to go over. You can select which zone. So I'm just going to go like that. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, now then we activate the deckhands. Their activation is pretty simple. They're kind of mindless troops. They're going to attack and then move up a zone. Okay, right now they have nothing to attack, so they're just going to move up. Done and done. Okay. They move up a zone. They always go in a straight line, okay? And they cannot occupy a zone that has any enemy models in it. So that's easy enough. Okay. Then we're going to choose 3 heroes. For this, I'll choose Ghost Hand Gunther. I'll put him there. And the captain, sure, he'll be over there. And maybe we'll go with little Tom because he looks so awesome. And he goes there. So then you would activate the heroes. Each hero has 3 actions that they can perform. Okay. Now when a hero moves, they can move up to 2 zones. So 1 move is 2 zones. So let's say I activate Ghost Eye. Ghost Eye is gonna want to get into the action. So he's gonna, his first action is to move. So I'm gonna put him there, okay? Now, I'm still out of range. Unless I do Banshee round, which cost me 4 gold, so I don't have 4 gold. So right now I'm looking at 0 gold actions. So I'm going to spend his second action, maybe just to put him here, okay? And then for his last action, we are going to do Ghost Lock Pistol, okay? It's 3 dice that hit up on a 3+, and they can attack 2 zones away. So I'm going to attack that zone. Easy enough. Roll the dice. I hit twice. You remove 2 models. I get 2 gold. Now, if, for example, that had, I don't know, let's say the order of, let's put a guy here. Okay. Let's say there's a mixed group in there. So we have a boson, a deckhand, and one of our heroes, okay? Now let's say Ghost Eye hit with all 3, okay? The order goes deckhands, take it first, then your bosons, then your hero, and finally your objective. So if he hit all 3 times, you would remove the deckhand, you'd remove the boson, and good old Blackout Bart would have taken a wound. All right, let's say there were 3 deckhands. Okay, so Ghost Eye hits 1 or 3 times, same scenario. This time all 3 deckhands would die. Okay? You have to remove all of that one type before you can move on to the next. Hope that makes sense. That's pretty much combat. Combat is really simple. I like combat in this game. There isn't a lot of interpretation, okay? You hit in that order. There are some abilities that allow you to select a hero even if he's hiding in a group of deckhands and bosons. But that's what, you know, kind of gives character to the game, is that there's some heroes that can sort of snipe out other heroes, right? Okay, so after you resolve combat, you're going to draw these tied cards. You get 3, and if you started with tied cards, you would either draw up to 3. You can discard ones you don't like in this part of the phase. Tied cards are pretty self-explanatory stuff. They kind of tell you when you can use them. For example, roll the bones. After a hero makes an attack roll, that hero must re-roll all successful hits for this attack. Okay? Sounds easy enough. Now, some of the cards will have these little Kraken symbols. Now, when I discard something with a Kraken symbol. Let's say I discarded both these cards. I have 3 Kraken symbols. At the end of the draw cards phase, you roll, you test the waters for the Kraken. And basically, if I were to roll low enough, you want to beat the number of Kraken symbols in the discard pile. Then, let's say if I rolled Snake Eyes, the Kraken would appear. And basically, it takes the middle of the board, and it has its own stats and wounds and everything like that. And if you kill it, it's worth victory points. Okay. So that's basically the game in a nutshell, right? There's obviously a little bit, there's some, you know, there's status effects. You could, you know, there's some like abilities that make characters bleed or blinded or whatever. But there you go. It's pretty straightforward. These guys would keep advancing and they just attack. So, you know, for example, if they're all here, let's say they started there, you'd roll 1 for each guy and they hit on a 4-up, right? If you have a boson, where are my bosons? Oh, I think I put them here. If you have a boson with them, they get a bonus and they actually hit on a 3+, okay? And like I said, they can only go straight and they can't occupy a zone if there's enemies in it. Alright, so now that that's all over, 10-minute tutorial, what do I think of this game? So, I'm going to start with the bad, okay? And I think my biggest criticism of this game is basically, you know, it's part pirate, part MOBA, and it kind of doesn't delve in to either genre that much. Okay, if you're expecting a pirate game based on the art and the models, this is more MOBA, as you can see. I mean, every turn in your deployment zone, you're going to be spawning deckhands and bosons. They're going to keep returning, just like a MOBA. If you don't know what a MOBA is, think of a game called League of Legends. Google it, and you'll see what I'm saying. So it's a MOBA game, and the wrapping is pirate. You know, there's definitely no. Let's see, like Dreadfleet. When you play Dreadfleet, you actually feel like you're piloting a ship. This is sort of like the end of a pirate movie where the main heroes are facing off in this massive, you know, boarding action thing, which is it's fine, but you know, the things that are pirate themed about it, of course, is this. I like the idea of this this ominous Kraken about, you know, that could appear as you as the battle rages on. The deck gun is nice. Gives you that feel of cannons blasting the other ship. And also I like the fact that the gold has it's basically the magic properties of it keeps you immortal, and they work that in the story and they work it kind of in the game, and it's all about looting and pillaging. So that's the pirate aspect of it. Most of the board game mechanics are MOBA based. Like I said, the respawning, the fact that the minions are kind of mindless. They just they attack and they go forward, and that's it. And so as a MOBA game, when I think of MOBA games, you really have to sell the characters themselves. So each character should have and they do have different classes. You know, there's something called a brute, a captain, a gunner, a swordsman, and a quartermaster, right? Now they do a pretty good job with the brute. Let's take a look at like Stumper Pete, right? A brute is basically going to have a ton of health. He's got 14 health, and he's going to do a ton of damage, especially with an ability like Anger's Enthusiasm, which he gets to roll dice for every damage on Pete. So the way they develop the brute is pretty good. Same thing with the gunners. Like, where does card go? Ghost Knight Gunter, right? Most of your gunners are pretty accurate. They hit on 3s. They have a ranged attack. And they have some sort of thing that helps them snipe. So these are all very good things. But when you really think of a MOBA, you think of things like synergy. And I wish this game had a little bit more between the characters synergy. There's some support roles like the quartermaster, like Miss Mags can actually heal characters, and so that's an excellent support role. But I wish there were other kinds of buffs involved, and maybe it's because I don't have all the different factions. But even for the basic box set, I wanted a little bit more. There should be maybe a reason you would take a captain and say the quartermaster, because they work well somehow together, right? Or maybe the swordsman and the gunner or the support piece can somehow buff the other things, and I think that's missing from the game. That MOBA aspect of picking your characters and assembling your team is extremely important in a MOBA, and here it kind of doesn't do that. It doesn't feel like it to me. But so those are the negatives. And from what I understand, Season 2 or the Second Tide is they've made it a little bit more crunchier, and they've cleaned up some of the rules, and it flows better and it's faster. So Second Tide I'm looking forward to, and if half the changes I've heard about happen, I think this will be a great game. So those are sort of the negatives. The positives, big positives, are the pieces are high quality, as you can see. The sculpts are fantastic. Even some of the regular, like I said, some of the regular deckhands, they have a lot of character to them, and so this game looks amazing when it's all painted. The problem is that the reason why you want to paint is for that immersion, and it lacks immersion because its mechanics are based on MOBA. So, for example, would there be an endless tide of, you'd expect that for the undead maybe, but not from, Wellsport. That's a MOBA mechanic, that sort of thing. So, being that the game is mostly MOBA, there isn't an immersive or much immersion to it, I guess. But other than that, I think this game, like overall, plays really well. It's a party game, especially when you play teams. 3v3 is amazing on this game. I don't know how I feel about one player, but as a multiplayer game, it's fun, and I think it's worth holding out till the Second Tide comes out. I think the improvements that they're going to make with this game is going to make it one of the better board games that I've played. Right now, I'm giving it a solid C+. I think the models are great, the materials are great. I just wish there were more to it, either more pirate goodness, yeah, or more MOBA. You know, more synergy between the characters, more abilities and upgrades you could buy. Because that's what you're doing in a MOBA. When you're killing minions, you're actually leveling up. And then this system, as it is now, in the first version, you don't get that level up feel. So bottom line is, I think, as far as its first run, it's a great game. Lots of room for improvement, and so I'm looking forward to the second Tide. Is it worth the buy? That's the big question. Well, you know, at its retail, $100, I think it's better to wait for second Tide. If you can get it for, you know, between $50, $60, like I did, it's well worth it. And, you know, just get the rules for the second Tide. Anyways, that's my thoughts for now, and we'll hope to see you on the next video, and